Guys, clap, please.
Please, yeah.
Izac
That was
looked
so
around.
good. Who did that?
You looked around like you didn't know. You were gonna clap for that one.
It's like, guys, we're not clapping for that.
Do you work on them like through the week? No, seriously. How many do you actually have up your sleeve? You're like, oh no, now I've got 4 left. Now I've got 3. Oh no, I'm running out.
If I have a busy week, I get stressed because I'm like, no, I have to work on the glockenspiel. I need to write a new piece.
How many do you have up your sleeve still, you reckon?
Oh, 15.
15?
15.
Alright,
Definitely.
we're
We're gonna be okay.
We'll be in a new instrument by then.
Yeah.
What's the next instrument? Because we went from the harmonica to the glockenspiel. What is coming after the glockenspiel?
Good question.
I think piano accordion probably next. It's something easy to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who has one?
Fretless bass.
Okay, beautiful.
Well, there you go. So what are we, what's the episode we're doing today? Firstly, why are we all in suits? Maybe we should address that.
That's true. Well, I just felt like dressing up. No. We are going to go see the premiere of...
Reservoir Dogs.
Terrible. I love that. We're all dressed up because we're going to go to the premiere of Chasing Lemons, starring our very own Joel Drabble.
Love you, Joel.
That's it.
He's a good boy.
He's a good...
He is a good boy.
He is a
good
good
guy.
boy.
Really, really good guy.
Bloody legend.
He's one of Australia's youngest and finest, I think. That's fair to say.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of my favourites that I've had the pleasure of directing. So
No! Joel's one of your favourites?
Yeah, you reckon?
Every night I lay awake, I'm like, Isaac's going to make me the lead of the next one. He's going to make me the... No, it's Joel again. Oh, second lead?
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Nah,
You're gonna have to poison Joel. No, I'm kidding.
You got to work your way up. I got to work my way up from the supports to the leads.
From-
You know, everything I'm doing with Noah doesn't count.
Because I'm
Shit.
such an acclaimed director.
I'll get across at some stage.
So we had a spare hour and a bit. So we just wanted to record a miscellaneous episode. It wasn't quite enough time to go into Magnolia. So we thought we'd talk about... Taylor, you've been on a show recently. You worked on a Nickelodeon show, and we might revisit some other stuff as well.
Yeah, I did a little, I don't know what you call it, a guestie on Rock Island Mysteries, working with some people who I'd worked with in the past. So it was great to see them again. The audition came through. I made a tape for it just quickly. It was when I had the mustache. You'll love this story, by the way. It was when I had the mustache for that commercial that I think it maybe on the Christmas episode I talked about it a little bit. So I auditioned, sent the self-tape when I was on hold. Keep the mustache, Taylor, keep the mustache. So I shoot the self-tape and I say, just want to let you know, I know that I've got a mustache right now, so I'm sorry about that. But I'm on hold for something, and so if you can look past that, here's the tape.
Yeah.
And so I did it. Wait a couple of weeks, my agent calls me up and she's like, oh yeah, they really liked it. Like, you got the role and they want you to keep the mustache. This is like mid-November. So I'm thinking like, all right, yeah, great. I got the role. Like, I'm going to go in and do it. They want me to keep the mustache. Keep this mustache. November, December, Christmas, January. We shot it early February, right? As you can probably tell right now, I don't have a mustache, right?
Yeah.
Guess what happened, right? I dealt with all that mayonnaise getting in there, you know what I mean? And like, couldn't even eat a chicken and avocado sandwich without having to wipe it, you know, with a napkin in my pocket. I just started carrying around napkins with me.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I get in the makeup chair, the lady's like, oh, we've decided we don't like the mustache anymore, so we're just going to shave it. Gone. And look, I was like, that's fine.
Disgraceful.
Like, whatever you think for the character.
Unbelievable.
Whatever for the character, all good. I don't mind. It's your character. I agree with how it looks with the producers and everything. But I just had a mustache for 3 months over Christmas for no reason. You know?
What did Tegan
But
think
it's all
of your
good.
mustache? Was she a fan?
What? Okay, because I had.
You don't have to answer that.
I had a very prominent mustache. And I tried to, because everything else was shaved, clean shaved. I had a prominent mustache there on the top lip. So I tried to like do the fake out where like I let the rest of, I was trimming the mustache as it was going with my lip, and I tried to like let the rest of it like come back and like not have it be such a difference.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Right.
And
level it all out. Yeah.
I level it out, yeah. And I got close, but I don't think I actually ever got there. But anyway, yeah, she was happy to see it go. What I kind of do is just like, it's all going at the same pace or nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or
That's
clean shave and start again. Sometimes you have to. But
That's tough.
it's good for me now, like turning 32, like I get to sort of think about facial hair for roles. Like I had a goatee in Bloom, because I had like a little goatee thing, if you remember.
Yeah. You said you wanted one, and I was like, you go ahead and do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought that he
Yeah.
would be, because I remember dating this chick one time, and her brother, I remember hearing him say, "If you have a goatee, you're an idiot." You know, like, and I don't believe that. But
I
that's
thought
what
that was
he
going to
said.
be a lot more elaborate.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just like
Let's just
cut
say
straight
that.
to the chase.
And I don't actually believe that, but I think it's suited that character to have a goatee.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because that means that like you're leaving that, but you're shaving that, so you are sculpting.
Sure.
So
You're
it's
trying.
a bit, you're trying.
Yeah.
And then in other things, I've done like a full beard. I think in Bleeder, I'm going to probably have a bit of facial hair. I think just a full, all at the same time growing.
Mhm.
It's great that now being like turning 32, like I can actually have the question of like, what would the facial hair be for this character? Because when I was in my early 20s, that I didn't have that ability, do you know what I mean, to even have that question. So it was great.
Yeah.
I sent a tape, I got the role, and I went in to work with this great director, Grant Brown, who happened to be directing this episode of Rock Island. And he also directed me for my very first episode of Mako Mermaids, which was also a guestie. And then I think that the character or the storyline was kind of so well received that I sort of became a series regular in the next season. And I think maybe, I can't remember, Grant directed in that season. It all happened, we were working so quickly. Grant was certainly instrumental on, you know, directed maybe one of the best episodes of television I've ever done, my first episode of Mako. So he was directing this one as well, which was awesome.
What makes you so happy with that episode when you got your start?
Of Mako?
Yeah.
Seriously, like, you should check it out.
Yeah.
It's just so well written, and I don't get me wrong, I've done stuff where I've watched it back and I was like, it's okay, but I missed this part and I missed that part, or other stuff I've watched and I was like, that's not very good. Taylor, other stuff I've watched and I was like, that's pretty good. But this one, I just reckon I was really on the money with what I tried to do with the character, and the show was such a well-oiled machine by that time that everything just came together and it worked. And it's a really, really good self-contained episode, which ended up getting me back for another season in a much more long-form storyline. My character, Chris.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How do you find out that something is well received? If, like the ratings were really high for the episode, or
Look, it's great to do something that is good and really well received. I've done other things that I thought was good, but maybe I wasn't well received or what have you. So it just was so refreshing to do something that was just like widely really liked, and that I also thought I was good in. So I guess the way I found out, I remember I was in an Uber, or maybe it was a taxi back then, and I was getting ready to go to do another show, and then I got a call from my agent that he had been on the phone with the producers and that they were going to bring me back in the next season. And also ongoingly, that was 2015, I still have like fans message me on Instagram or what have you, and they say, we love that character, we love what you did. So that's how I guess you know it's well received. Yeah, which is great. I'm just very, very grateful to make stuff that people like. Even the girls on Rock Island Mysteries watched me in Mako, and they came up while we were doing the scene in between takes, and they were like, oh my god, like, we watched you on Mako a few years ago, like, you were so good on it, like, we loved it. And I was just like, wow, thanks. I don't really know how to take a compliment. You just say, thank you very much, thank you.
yeah. It's a bit hard, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I just said sincerely thank you. I also worked in the scene, worked closely with an Australian actress called Kimberly Joseph, who was on Lost. And I never got to tell, she was lovely, like just awesome to chat with. And I never got a chance to tell her just how much I love Lost. Like, Lost absolutely informed my childhood.
Oh yeah, your mum said something about that at the wedding.
Did she?
Yeah.
How much I love Lost?
Yeah, she did. In one of her speeches, she mentioned that was like early on your love for TV. It was that and Armageddon.
Oh yeah, so I could tell the story of Armageddon as well, but just quickly on Lost. Lost for me was, I think, 2004, so I was 13, and it ran for 6 seasons. So 2004 to 2010, 13 to 19. And Lost is like a high concept mystery show. It's really, really good. It's like 125 episodes over 6 years. And I watched it week by week over 6 years. That is dedication. Wow. That's before streamers, so that's the way it used to be.
So you have to wait for it to come out. Wow.
Yeah. And Kimberly Joseph was a character on Lost. A really important character on Lost. She serves a bottle of vodka to the main character, played by Matthew Fox, Jack. And I watched that scene so many times when I was a kid, when I was 12, 13 years old. And I just did a scene with her a few days ago and chatted with her. And she said, Taylor, congratulations on the wedding. Congratulations. I guess it can be public now. You've got a little one on the way. Congratulations.
Yeah.
So it was just like a pinch myself moment of, you ever have those moments where if you could pick up the phone and call yourself your younger self, do you think they'd be happy? If I called my younger self now at 31 and called my 14-year-old self who just watched that first episode of Lost and loved it and said, bro, in a few years, in 17 years time, you're going to do a scene with that actress from Lost. Bro, I would have been jumping on the bed. How awesome is that?
That's bloody awesome.
That is I had a pinch myself moment. So there you go. I just had a great pinch myself moment this week of working with Kimberly Joseph.
That's unreal. That's so good. Lads, do you guys have a moment where, like what Taylor said, like someone that you can see that you would love to work with and in 10 years and look back and go, oh wow, I really liked that person when I was coming up. I'm so glad that I got to work with them.
Thank you guys. And you don't need to say me.
There was this at university.
Who do you think? Who would you like to work with in the whole world?
Well, in third year at university, I do remember working on this film, and I found out from the director because he was so thrilled that this like celebrity guy in television called Taylor Glockner was going to star in it. It was like a one-person show
in a student project.
Yeah, in a student
How
project.
lucky are we?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Right.
I had
actually though.
I had 2 weeks spare and I was in Brisbane, so I also knew the casting director really well. So
Peter.
Yeah, Peter, and Peter has helped me out many times, and I love Peter. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just do one. I'm just gonna give it a crack. And so I think I got sent 10 briefs. I was wanting to give back to Peter, who has given me so much and helped me and assisted me and helped me to get roles. Like Peter was instrumental on one of my first roles, Conspiracy 365. And I thought, all right, I took a look at the email brief. There was about 8 or 9 of them, if I'm not mistaken. How many did they actually?
I think it was 10 or 11.
Yeah.
Something. It was like 1 animation, 10 live action.
Yeah.
Right. I went through them all, and I picked the weirdest one that was going to challenge me the most.
Yeah.
And I sent one email. I went and made the film, but I just went for it with the performance. It's a pretty oddball film.
That's fair.
But I'm pretty proud of my performance in it.
Well, I'm glad that you did it, man. We all got to meet you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so that led to us having a conversation, Noah.
Yeah, I remember. Do you want to... Are we going to be telling the stories as was happening?
Yeah, why not? Come on, let's see what happens.
I remember it was the day before we started shooting, and you showed up, and it was like 5 p.m. or something.
I was told that we may even...
Start that night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we didn't. Because the set was still being built.
Yeah.
But I was ready to go.
Yeah.
That was the night you directed me for the first time, actually.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
on something else. A little bit of footage we got for something else.
Yeah. We were sitting outside the set while it was being built, myself and everybody else in the crew. I was just crew on this. I was script supervisor.
Noah and I hit it off so quickly. Noah directed me in footage, in something, within knowing me for about 3 hours.
Yeah, it was really good.
That's wild.
I met Noah...
How did that... So you say hello... And then how do you get to now you're being directed by Noah?
Do you want to tell us? Or
I just needed to pick up some shots for another project, and we had this back alley that we were going to use, and I said, hey, like it was just seriously like we were just like just grab a camera and let's go.
Yeah. And
so we did. We went there. We waited for the train to go past to get the production value. Like we got the shots of me like looking all ragged in front of the fence.
Yeah.
So Noah directed me. Would have been 8 o'clock at night. We met at about 5 o'clock. Isn't that crazy?
That's
It was.
wild.
I think it was a little later. I think it was like 10, 11 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn it.
It was
6 hours doesn't sound as
6
good.
hours.
Yeah, right.
That's three.
It was good. You came and sat down with all the crew, and we were all eating like pizza and set food and whatnot. And because you're in character, you
I couldn't eat that because we started off by the leanest point, and I remember I didn't eat anything for so long preparing for it that I was probably about 15 pounds even lighter than what I am now, just a walking around weight. Like I was skinny. You could see it in me, and so I couldn't eat anything. And then we began with the skinniest point of the character, and then once that was shot, we began from the beginning,
Yeah.
where the character was at a healthy weight. So that night I went home, I was like eating a bit more stuff to kind of fill out a little bit more.
Yeah.
I don't mind doing whatever with my weight. Like seriously, for a role, like that's part of the fun, and because it happens so slowly, you don't see your body changing, so you don't really see a change.
Yeah.
But other people do, I guess. And then if you look back on the film from a few years later, and then you can see the cut where you were like, oh, here's the skinny part, here's the filled out part.
Yeah.
You know, you can see it then.
Yeah.
Once you're distanced from the performance a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I was sitting down with the crew. You guys were eating pizza, and
Yeah.
I would have just been ravenous,
Yeah.
and I was watching you eat pizza. So he's already messing with me.
That was it.
I've known him for an hour.
We were all sitting down.
Playing mind games.
And I didn't know Taylor, and I don't make it a point to like go introduce myself to everybody on set that's like new or an actor or whatever. I'm just script supervisor. Like I don't have anything to do with actors, generally speaking. I think what was the case was just Taylor's a little bit older than everybody else there because they're all film school students, and there's also this like the actor who's professional is coming to work on set because
I felt that way.
right
I can confirm
because it
that
doesn't
way.
happen.
Well,
You
Like,
felt that from me showing up on set?
I don't feel it from you, but that was, I can confirm, like, being in the film school bubble a little bit. Not that that's, like, how everyone felt, but I can confirm, like, we were all there. We were working with actors who were also on the come up, not established actors.
Oh, right.
Because, like, I'll say this super quickly before you go into this. I remember being on the Flesh and Ivory set, and I was at the desk and we were looking at our setup, and I was like freaking out. I remember I wasn't eating much the week of production because I was so stressed about shooting Flesh and Ivory.
Yeah.
And you came in and visited as well because it was the same soundstage. We're shooting in the same setting.
And I remember I saw you. I think we've spoken about this maybe in another podcast.
Yeah.
But I saw you across the room, and I think you were directing. Maybe it was probably
Something.
Joel.
I might have been talking to Joel or Gus because it was like, yeah, we were busy though. I remember I was.
You know, can I just? There's another side to that story, and the truth is that I got booted from your set. You booted me from your set.
Good.
The very first.
I was shitting my pants. I'm glad. As soon as I was in there, because I'm like thinking at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And then I turn around and I'm like, oh, it's Taylor from Neighbours. I don't need to be thinking about Taylor from Neighbours. I need to be thinking about Joel Drabble from Flesh and Ivory. Like I'm fucking
Well, look,
was
I'm
like
not-
so stressed. And we were
Uh,
running out of dry ice, you know, fucking shit was lighting on fire.
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
like, I just needed to be streamlined.
No, look, I totally get that,
Yeah.
and I don't mean to be like that. That's not how I am.
No,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, yeah. But I just want to say, just so it's not like, oh yeah, we're not intimidated by actors who were established, but I guess film school people are. It's like, no, I was intimidated.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I felt. Like, I can confirm that's, it is
Oh.
what it is when people are more experienced than you.
No need.
I know that now.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's nice, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Not
what-
nice that I'm intimidating, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, respected.
I don't enjoy being intimidating.
yeah.
Don't
I
you?
think if you enjoy, I think if you do enjoy being intimidating, it's like some Darth Vader kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like Daniel Plainview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we will. Hey, we're gonna get into that.
That's it. I watched it yesterday. I'm so can't wait.
For the first time,
For the first time.
bro. It's
I can't wait.
one of my favorites.
Yeah.
That we are talking about There Will Be Blood, which for the Paul Thomas Anderson special, we will certainly be getting into There Will Be Blood, which I absolutely love that film.
It will get its own episode for sure.
It has
We're not
to.
going to split that with The Master. It's impossible.
Oh, that is like...
That is.
Take what you think is impossible and times it by like 1,000,000.
Yeah, right.
The fact that you're going to fit both There Will Be Blood and The Master in there, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah. No, absolutely not.
Single film per episode.
Yeah, 100%. Noah, you were saying
Back
that's a
on this
massive tangent.
That's
Sorry,
all
bro.
right. Taylor was sitting down with us, and the conversation went somewhere else, and I sort of could see that Taylor was sort of, nobody was really talking to him, and I think that was just because everybody was intimidated by you, even though you're sitting at the same, but nobody was acknowledging him. And then
You're so scary.
Am I a scary looking dude? Far out.
Anyhow, then the set had to be built. So many of the people who were sitting at the table, being production designers or technical crew, they had to go in and work out their lighting, their building of the set, whatever the hell. As a script supervisor who'd done all his prep work, I just said I wasn't going to get up, so I just stayed sitting there. And then Taylor said something like, because the conversation was in talking about something, he said, "Have you seen like Good Time?" And I was like, "Yeah, I love Good Time." And we talked about Good Time.
Really?
Yeah, for like half an hour. Fortunately, we're both big fans of Good Time. Then
great movie.
Yeah. So we just talked about movies, and I think we sat at that table and talked about movies for about an hour and a half. And at some point, you went to go inside to check if they needed shooting or something, or to start shooting or whatever. And I sort of knew we weren't going to start that night because of how far behind it's a film set. Everybody's far behind all the time, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
So then we
Flesh and Ivory, we had some stuff with setting up the flats because no one had done that before.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally understand.
And then Taylor goes, "I have this project called The Queenslander." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And he started telling me about this project. And then, for whatever reason, the downstairs area where we were shooting next to the set was getting a little loud. So we went up in one of the computer labs, and I sat with Taylor at a table, a computer lab, and we talked about his TV series, which he was adapting, writing his synopsis for, and he walked me through the synopsis of the television series.
By the way, I cannot believe how far the material has come from when we had that conversation to where it is now, a few years later.
Yeah.
It's in a really strong position now.
Yeah. He was walking me through something, and some mythological story came up. I think we were talking about Faust. Yeah. And Taylor said something about something, and I was like, "Oh yeah, the Mephistopheles and blah and the third." And he was like, "Who's that?" I was like, "Well, that character would be that if that character was that," because he was trying to draw a connection between a certain character and the Queenslander.
Yeah.
And I think I won some points on that. And then Taylor said...
Yeah, he definitely did. And Danny loved that as well, by the way.
Good, there you go. So, and then Taylor said, we're thinking about putting a package together to attempt to pitch the show. And it would be nice if we had some, like, trailer-esque footage, or, like, in the same way that you might make a short to pitch a feature, for example. And he said, and we'll pitch it to some other place. The person who will eventually play the lead role won't be me, but I will do it for this, pitch, essentially.
Yeah.
And he said, and I need somebody to direct it. Taylor, not knowing that I had directed 5, 6 something shorts and documentaries at Griffith or whatever, and written about it, I just said, "I'll direct it for you," because I knew I could do that. And then he put out his hand, and I shook his hand, and then he was like, "Cool, what do we do?" And I was like, "Well, what sort of scene do you want to direct, you know what I mean? And maybe I'll do a script and write it and we'll go shoot it." And he said, "No, we don't need to. We can do it like now."
Noah Jeremetta shooting without a script.
Look at this guy go.
And
look at this guy.
So that was it. So he said, "This is the scene."
You were definitely intimidated. Shooting without a script.
I heard that. I was like, "Without a script, you guys are fucking crazy."
I'll shoot it.
Yeah. I didn't.
Who's that filmmaker that said shooting with a shot list is for cowards?
Oh shit!
Who said that?
I don't know. I'm sure there's a few of them who said that. I
That's
can't
wild.
remember exactly.
Yeah,
that's what it was. I essentially boxed Taylor in anyway to giving me a shot list, because we were like, "How many shots are we gonna do?" He's like, "Well, we just need maybe 30 seconds of footage, something like this." And I said, "Okay, 2 shots probably reasonable." So we were in this computer lab. There's not so much room, but there's enough room to shoot a thing, or like plan out a thing. So we were just like, okay. I was like, "Taylor, you start here, you walk this much back this way, and then you'll run that way," or whatever it was. So he was a very easy actor to work with. He was like, I was very surprised that this, well-respected Australian actor was sort of willing to have somebody who he didn't ask one credential about direct him in a computer lab.
Humble. I just think that being creative, like, you're going to go so much further if you're humble. And Noah, I heard that you thought that I could have been the opposite of that before shooting.
I just wasn't worried about meeting you. Well, I mean, I know that people are worried about meeting actors because they have some sort of like, or they're a famous person, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I had never seen any of, I mean, I don't mean to be,
No, I don't mind.
I'd just never seen any of Taylor's work. So my immediate thought was like, cool. Like, is he, I don't.
Hey,
I can't be
Who did you
intimidated
hear
by
that
you.
from?
I'm
Just
good in some stuff, I'm not good in others, and everything in between.
Well, I didn't know that if you were going, and like, I'm not somebody who's quick to be like favoring an actor because they're famous. It's sort of more to me about how good they are and the quality of their work. And if I haven't seen nothing of yours, and I didn't go out of my way to look anything up, then I'm not worried. I don't know. So, but anyhow, he turned out to be really cool and like a great guy. And then our friend Angus MacArthur-Williams, DOP'd Bloom, of course. He came up to the computer lab, and he was one of the crew on this film, not the director of photography on it, but one of the crew. And he had his camera with him, and he owns an excellent camera. And then we went out and we shot the thing, and it was very easy to shoot, and it took maybe about an hour to shoot it. Yeah, it was good. It was a good time. And then we went back to the computer lab, and Angus went to color grade the footage, and Taylor went to a vending machine and bought us a bunch of snacks.
Did I?
Yeah. And then came back in with a bunch of snacks and was like, do you guys want anything? We're like, no, we're all good. And then Taylor said, all right, I'm going to go home because we're shooting tomorrow, whatever. And it was like 11:30 at night. And
Did I leave you the snacks?
yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
You're like, all for me.
Yeah. And then Gus and I talked about how cool that was to have shot that out of nowhere. And that was it. Taylor said that the next day he would bring me the book of the Queenslander, and he did. And I met him in the morning, and we talked before shooting started for like an hour, because, again, I mean, it's shooting a film. It's like, we're going to start at 8 a.m. No, we're going to start at 10. Like,
Yeah.
Everybody knows how this works. So that was that. And then we just got on the shoot, I think.
We started with some of the hardest stuff from zero. Like the very first shot was like when the character was like coming apart the most.
Yeah,
So I really had to go for it.
sure.
But I think we got it. Like we did a few takes, and one of them was really good. So, but yeah, I'll just never forget that. That was like, it's good. It's really good. You don't always have the luxury to film sort of sequentially. That was just like beginning at like 70% of the way through the story, and then like where the character was at his like most almost distraught. So I just had to find it, and quickly as well. Whereas if you had have had that lead up, you're like, oh, I'm already halfway to that. I know the character arc. I know the journey.
Yeah.
So I can get to that. But you just got to do your prep. If you've done your prep on the script, then you'll be prepared almost to shoot any scene.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of those ones where we made something really weird, really oddball. As I said, I picked the weirdest and hardest one to push myself. I could have picked one that was a lot more in the realm of normal or ordinary, whatever you want to call it, and something that wasn't going to challenge me. But I just picked the most abstract brief and sent an email about it. I must have skipped over Flesh and Ivory. Or maybe I thought I was a bit too old.
Didn't think it was good.
No,
You
no.
probably read it. In
No,
one.
no.
This
Isaac,
one, I don't think this is going anywhere.
No.
since I
Yep.
shot myself in the foot now here, I'm going to tell you, I think I actually thought I was too old for the character.
You probably were.
That's fair.
Maybe.
The character's in high school, so
Yeah.
that's understandable.
I know,
At
I was
uni, I
28.
think they made us write an age bracket as well, and we
Yeah.
had to get a high schooler.
I
That's
think
a
I
good
looked.
excuse, Taylor.
Yeah, that's good.
No,
yeah.
no,
you
no.
can also say that the script was just shocking.
Yeah.
I didn't read. I just looked at the brief, so I wouldn't have known. Swear to God,
I'm just
no
pressing you,
bullshit.
I'm sorry.
No, all good. No bullshit. I think I actually thought I was too old for the character.
I think it.
I
Probably
think
Whereas
that's
with-
I think that's exactly
Yeah.
We needed a high schooler. Yeah.
You know.
Isaac, you should have done a Netflix-style high school adaptation where all of the 20-year-olds are 30 and they're all like,
yeah.
Some Spider-Man Tobey Maguire
Taylor's well
shit.
built like
yeah,
that.
exactly.
Put you in like one of those tiny freaking private school boys school
Yeah.
shirts.
Imagine Taylor at 28 in one of the high school uniforms. Like,
But
yeah.
Dad
Yeah, exactly.
would have
Yeah.
been good.
No comment.
Yeah.
Would have been good. Yeah.
But yeah, that is the thing. Like you watch like the old like 90210 and stuff, and they're
yeah.
like all like 33,
Yeah.
playing like 18-year-olds.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's one thing I love about the new 21 Jump Street films is like not only obviously are they commenting on the fact that it's like Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill are like clearly undercover cops, they're not in high school, but like they're definitely also having a jab at the fact where it's like, bro, you
Oh,
are
yeah.
not in high school.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
what? Why are you?
Or in the second one when Ice Cube, I actually found this really, really funny, and I'm a pretty tough laugh when I'm watching a film. And Ice Cube's like, just do the same thing all over again. Don't try and get fancy. just make it bigger.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what sequels are. Like, just
Yeah.
the same thing again with a bigger budget.
And he's talking about it in the big office that's like way huger in the ice cube.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
But
so
it's
good.
also, it's like almost like, would you call it meta? Like
I'd say it's meta.
commentary on how sequels work.
Totally. That's one of the biggest strong points with that sequel for sure. It's
That it makes fun of sequels.
and like just like how studios manage budget as well. There's like a great bird's eye shot where they're riding that little motor cart that has the football helmet on it, and then it goes to a bird's eye POV as they go through a building and come out, and they have like sound effects of things crashing, and Channing Tatum comes out and he's like, wow, we really broke a lot of expensive shit in there. And it's like, yeah, we really did.
Isn't there that part at the beginning where Nick Offerman is like, well, the department has run out of money.
Yeah.
So
That's
we're
actually
gonna
pretty
do
good.
the same thing that we know makes money.
Yeah, right.
That's a pretty good Nick Offerman impression.
Jackson does good impressions.
Yeah.
Have you been working on that?
Fuck no. I watched The Last of Us the other day, so it's
Oh,
fresh in
don't
my
watch
mind, man.
I think we've got to talk about that since we're talking about Nick Offerman. Just
Oh, yeah.
quickly.
Okay.
So
I'm not seeing it, but
I've
we
not
can talk
seen
about
it, so talk about it with no spoilers.
Oh,
in it,
fuck.
especially
Well, I,
Good luck.
I don't even know.
I've not
Okay.
seen this shit, and I've not
So-
played the game.
I played the game. I think maybe we spoke about this before in a video game episode. I played the game.
Yeah, the game's great.
Loved it.
Love the game.
Great story. I played the first one, haven't played the second one. But when I played it, I was fully immersed. I had like 72 hours on my own in an apartment where my friends like weren't getting into LA until like on Monday, and it was like Friday afternoon. So I was just hanging out in the apartment, played the first game, fully immersive. Like it absolutely drags you in. Like once you just start playing, and I just put it on like, oh yeah, I'll just, absolutely just pulls you in. And I'm thinking, I've got 72 hours here. I'm just going to fully immerse in this game. It just grabbed me. Haven't had time to play the second one yet, but I am thoroughly enjoying the first season of The Last of Us. I love Pedro Pascal. Bella Ramsey's doing a great job. I think it's really well cast. It's true to the original material of the game, which I played and really followed closely. It's doing the original source material, but it's also doing something just a little bit different, just a little bit sideways. Would you agree with that, Jackson?
Yeah, 100%.
It's great. I'm happy to go along with it. I'm loving it.
As far as I know, this is Bella Ramsey's like second big role. Her first being fucking Game of Thrones.
She had a good run.
Yeah.
She
She's really
What a
she's
run.
on a bit of a run, yeah. And you know what? She's doing really well with it. I can't lie.
Yeah. She's playing a great Ellie.
When I watched the third episode, which is the one with Nick Offerman in it, in which he plays a character from the video game, and
Yes.
in this show they've kind of took that side character and just kind of expanded on his background, and that's
100%.
what that whole story is. Do you guys like? We're not going to go into spoilers, but like, you want me to just have a quick rundown on what that episode is to not leave you in the dark?
Yeah, sure. Without spoilers, you do it, Jackson.
Don't
Because
spoil
I'll
it.
spoil it.
If you spoil it, I'll kill you.
Yeah.
Because I'm a clean slate on this whole
I'll
Last of Us thing.
definitely spoil it. So Jackson, PR.
Go ahead.
Shit,
Go for it.
Fuck. All right. So
You PR
Nick,
guy straight
That's
away.
terrible. It's like
I
yeah,
will
me
fuck-
saying I'll kill Jackson live on camera as well.
well, if I disappear within 48 hours, we know
We
what's
know.
happened.
We know.
Nick Offerman.
Jackson
and,
couldn't make it to the premiere.
Yeah.
He didn't get a ticket.
Well, there you go, because he's not going to be able to make it.
Yeah.
That's already wouldn't hold up. in
That's
court of law.
it.
But
Jackson's like, and then when Ellie shoots Joel. That's a great part of the episode. No. And yeah.
But in
Does
the
that happen?
No, I'm just making spoilers.
Okay.
up.
No.
in the
Okay.
Or does it?
thematic
You're killing me.
I've not
Sorry.
seen it. I don't want
You're
to.
right.
Yeah.
in the thematic intensity of The Last of Us, there's a lot of people who don't make it through the show.
Yeah.
It's
So
very
someone dies.
very unforgiving. The world.
It's a zombie show.
Yeah.
You put two and two together. Somebody
I'm-
doesn't make it through.
And they
die.
say
Somebody
that I'm
dies.
not the sharpest tool in the kitchen, huh? In the kitchen drawer.
The brightest tool in the show.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm not the prettiest tool in the garden, but
Oh, Isaac, I don't like. What's this? What's this
I'm
self-talk?
not. I'm not.
I don't like that self-talk.
I'm
all
sorry.
right?
Okay, I appreciate you.
I don't ever want to hear that self-talk ever again. All right.
I want to see 20 comments in the comment section that say, Isaac, you're the spitting image of Hugh Grant.
No, the first thing that
He is.
I hate
Like,
that
no,
this is
for
gonna
real.
be a real. This is gonna be a real.
He's gonna edit
You
the real.
y'all. No.
Yeah, now you have to edit yourself.
No.
And you have to put Hugh Grant in there with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Lads, I am
Side by
not
side.
Hugh Grant. I did look like it though in that
pretending you
video we
don't.
posted. I look pretty good in that
And I
video.
texted you, is that Hugh Grant going across the front of the video?
It's our most viewed reel.
Because they probably think it's Hugh Grant.
How the fuck did they get Young Hugh? Young Hugh's forehead's fucking huge, bro.
Bro, seriously, you look like Hugh. You do. You
No,
look
I
like Hugh Grant in
don't.
that.
I don't.
For this reel, you gotta tag Hugh Grant. Is he on Instagram?
He's gonna be like, oh, you pompous Aussie prick. Some shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hugh Grant's got a rep for being a little grumpy.
Have you
these
seen the
days.
videos of Hugh Grant actually driving over paparazzi and stuff?
No.
He had one guy following him through the streets, and the video with no context is hilarious because what he's wearing is exactly what he wore in Notting Hill. So he looks
Has
like
anybody cut it into the film?
someone has to. And it's literally him walking along what looks like a street in Notting Hill, with those houses, rows of houses.
So good.
He's wearing the baggy white shirt. He's there with a coffee, like he would be with the orange juice in the film.
Right.
And there's a reporter there who's been following him, and he just walks up to the reporter and he goes and just smacks the camera. He's said himself in interviews that he's surprised that he keeps getting cast as ultra bubbly, super soft characters because it's the furthest thing from how he feels, even he sees himself.
Right.
But he just did it very famously in 4 Weddings and a Funeral, so he's been typecast.
Right.
It's so well known that he can do that, so that's probably why.
I love when he does it.
I love when he does something a bit different as well.
Yeah,
You know?
big time. Him and The Gentleman, that was a cool
Yeah.
change of pace.
Cloud Atlas,
Yeah, he plays the cannibal.
really different.
I didn't even know he was in it.
Bro, I've got to take another look at Cloud Atlas. I watched it in the cinemas when it came out, and I remember it being a massive epic, and I've been meaning to take another look at it. I'm definitely going to do that. But anyway, look, I'd imagine as well, paparazzi could get pretty annoying, so that's understandable as well.
Yeah, for sure.
To be irritable.
There's been horrible, there's that famous video of Tobey Maguire where he's we all know the one, where he's in the car and he's screaming at me. He's like, I can't see, there are cars here, idiot. Because he's in his car, and paparazzi legally are not meant to stand in front of your car. They're not allowed to. They have to stand off to the side. You should be able to continue to go about your day.
That is fair enough.
Yeah.
That is a hazard on the road.
Absolutely. They're shooting him with flash photography through a windshield.
Well,
and
it's
if the
gonna
windshield's
drive.
dirty especially, that's just gibberish.
Oh,
That's some
yeah.
shit.
Oh, yeah.
So that's fair enough. Totally. There's that awesome the Tarantino one I fucking love so much.
At the gas station.
I don't know who's in the right there. I understand
Oh,
Tarantino's.
yeah.
He's like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
What's going on here? I'm talking to you. What's going on here? And the poor guy's just like,
I think that's funny. I laugh at that.
yeah.
Oh, because I'm going to kick your ass up and down this street.
Yeah.
He talks like his characters in that video.
So
That's
funny.
what I really like.
I actually think that's funny.
It seems like an
It's a low
absurdist
line.
comedy sketch. That's what all these
Yeah.
paparazzi stories are.
So no one's actually getting hurt from that. That's just a guy kind of annoying a guy and another
him
guy
just
getting
losing
annoyed.
his temper. That's
You know
it.
what I mean?
Yeah. Kanye has a million of those. There's that amazing one. He's in the driveway.
Oh, I love that one.
He's just like, good morning, Kanye. And he's like, shut the fuck up.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Hey, Mr. Kanye, how's it going?
Yeah.
It's 4 a.m. It's not going very good.
Yeah. He's literally in his garage, like imagine you come out, you're just doing your thing, and you're like, oh, I need to check that thing, and you're half asleep, and some fucko is like, good morning, Kanye. I would lose my shit.
Yeah.
That's maddening stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I've been papped, but nothing to that any level like that.
What
do you do?
Do you have any funny stories with paparazzi or fans?
Okay, I'll just quickly tell it. Okay, so we had these Italian they were teenagers coming and staying with my grandparents who have a couple of spare rooms in their house on the Gold Coast. And my mum told me, oh, one of these girls is such a huge fan of Mako. She's such a huge fan of Mako. Taylor, you have to take time one day to go and you can, say hello to your grandparents and have lunch and you can talk with this girl about Mako. Come on, Taylor, you have to do this. And I was like, yeah, okay, all right, absolutely. We'll find time. drive all the way down to the Gold Coast, sitting across the table, chatting with these Italian girls. They could speak English, bilingual. Don't know how people do it. I can barely even speak one language.
Yeah,
and that we were speaking in English, and I say to this girl, "Oh, so how you going? Good, good. So I hear that you're a big fan of Mako." And she looks at me and she's like, "Oh no, I have not watched it, but I will. I'm sorry." So it's just been,
what the fuck?
It's just been misconstrued from my mum. How that makes me look is that I was on a show and I wanted to drive an hour to talk about me being on a show to someone
You were
who
so
hadn't
excited to
watched
talk
it.
about it, yeah.
That I wanted to talk about it for me. Whereas the way that it was set up for me was that I was going to go and talk about it for her.
She's like, no, I'm studying to be a marine biologist. I just love sharks. I love sharks.
Yeah.
That's what I'm into.
The mermaid is my favorite aquatic creature.
Something went wrong somewhere there, you know,
Yeah.
and
Parents are all steady doing that, aren't they? Every time.
She
You should meet Joe, he loves movies. Every time. I don't know Joe, okay?
Yeah.
I thought what she was
That's
going
not
to
how
say.
my mum sounds, by the way. Sorry, Mum. That was a drastic...
I
Sorry,
thought she
Joe.
was totally going to say, "Oh yeah, watch it if you like. I love Lost, like I said earlier. You know, oh yeah, thanks for coming down. Oh yeah, want to talk about it a little bit? Okay, yeah, great. Have a good afternoon. Enjoy your time in Australia." "Oh no, I have not seen it, but I will. I'm sorry." And I was like, "You don't have to watch it."
Yeah. I love that Italian accent.
And then she felt bad that she hadn't watched a show that you wanted to brag about yourself.
Yes, that's completely
You
how it
haven't-
looked from her
Oh my
perspective.
gosh. You haven't watched my show?
That's completely that I got in a car.
That's so funny.
That there's a guy, a relative of yours in another country who's been on a show in that country, and when you go to that country, he gets in his car and drives an hour and a half to come and talk with you about him being in a show in his country.
You're lucky the paparazzi wasn't there, bro. That would.
Oh, imagine.
I could see
Oh.
the headlines, man. Actor
I
guilt
didn't
trips
need-
foreigner into watching the show.
Yeah.
I didn't need to talk about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I thought you were a big fan. So
So
there
just
you
like,
go.
come, we'll watch it.
I don't.
Look, there's me.
That's me. That's me.
Pulls out the phone, just watches.
Oh yeah,
it.
it's like Once Upon a Time. Whoop, whoop, my scene. Whoop.
Bro, I cracked up when I saw that part because there's so much truth in that.
Yeah, right.
Oh, great leap. You know, good leap. You know, he
Like,
jumps over
thanks.
there.
Yeah, I did that one myself.
Yeah.
It literally jumps in.
Because that's so true. That is how you watch your stuff. Anyone who tells you they don't watch their stuff and be like, "Oh, that was cool." Like when I saw some of the stunts that I did in Mako, which took so much organizing by the crew to do, but swimming underwater, just incredible. Seriously, like, and it just looked so good. I'm so proud of it. Yeah, I'd never acted underwater before. I'd never had to float in suspended animation in a tank 4 meters deep with 4 meters at all sides and just float in the abyss with big fishes swimming past me while waiting for the next take.
Mm-hmm.
That was very, very cool. And my hands shrinkled up so much because I was in there for like a couple of hours.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't believe how much your hands shrinkle up when you stay in the water longer than when they get shrinkled.
Right.
When you swim and they get shrinkled, you get out.
Sure.
But I just had to stay in because we were shooting. Man, I was like a prune. Anyway, let's go to The Last of Us. Jackson, The Last of Us.
Shit. Fucking forgot about that, eh?
I was playing in LA
Oh,
and
yeah.
you were talking about Nick Offerman.
Yeah. So, Nick Offerman in the 3rd episode plays a survivalist who, for the first time, was right about the end of the world. And so, basically, he like spends, I don't know how long it was, like 20 years by himself. His little neighborhood, he's just completely cut off, set up traps. It's the coolest fucking thing.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great.
But it hooks you in because you're like, oh, this is a fun time. Like, that seems really fun. You're setting up traps, but then it goes
Yeah.
into this drama.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the drama kicks in where essentially he, in one of his traps, another stranger just falls into just a big hole, just a big fuck off hole. And basically this stranger is like begging for food and a bit of shelter, and then he'll be on his way. And so he reluctantly agrees to bring him into his home, and they develop a really wholesome relationship.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And so it's basically the whole episode is a story about finding hope and love in a time of, you know, horrible zombies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do they kiss? Is that the man that he kisses?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
I love Isaac's here, like, don't spoil the show, don't want the show spoiled, don't spoil. Is this the spoiler?
well, I mean, wow. Nick Offerman's only talking to one person in the trailer. I wonder if it's the stranger that he develops a...
Guys, hang on. I want to shout out to my boy Murray Bartlett, who is the other character in that episode, is an Aussie.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. He's in White Lotus as well,
Yeah,
right?
and I have not seen The White Lotus yet, but everyone's telling me to watch it, and they just say he's so good in it.
Yeah.
I am definitely going to check it out. And also the lady who plays Tess, Anna Torv, is also an Aussie. Don't we make some great talent though, Aussies? Like, I'm so happy to see
man.
Aussies in that.
Yeah.
We've been coming through more and more.
Both of them, I didn't know that they were Aussie until after, and so I never heard any problem with their accent at all. I just thought it was great.
Yeah, didn't even know they were Aussie. I guess that goes to show how fucking good they were.
Yeah, if you never know, I mean, that's the idea, you know? Anyway, we have got to get to a premiere.
That's it. We have to leave in, 10 minutes?
Yeah, we've got to pretty much get ready to go.
It's best we wrap up, I guess.
Well, this was sort of a bit of a miscellaneous episode while we were just... we had an hour.
Yeah.
We were waiting for the premiere, so we just thought we'd just record and see what happened. Thank you for listening. We really appreciate, our audience is growing, and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers. Thanks.